Three-step buying strategy. Here's a three-step process you can use when making domain buying decisions. Step number 1, know your portfolio needs and objectives. Before even considering buying more domain names, you should be very well aware of what you're trying to achieve with the construction of your portfolio. You should be very familiar with the specific categories you're interested in pursuing and the types of domain names that you want to put in those categories. Maybe you want to add a few more two-word domains in your home improvement category, and perhaps you want to just add a few longer descriptive domains in your pets category, and you're focusing on .com. Whatever your objective is, make sure you clearly define it before you begin buying. Otherwise, you could end up getting caught up in the moment, as buyers often do in auctions, and could end up with a number of poor additions to your current portfolio. Step number 2, develop a bidding strategy and follow-through. Before you go forward and purchase the sites on your watch list, you should develop a bidding strategy. For instance, you should decide exactly how many domains you want to purchase and how much you want to pay for each one of them at most. If you don't do this in advance, there's a strong possibility that you'll get carried away in a bidding war and end up forking out much more than you had intended to. Additionally, you may end up with a set of domains or sites that would be good individually, but are not a good choice as an addition to your portfolio as a group. After you form your strategy, execute it as planned. If prices exceed your maximum pre-planned bid, don't chase after the high bidder. Let the sites go and move ahead with your plan. Step number 3, learn from the process. Portfolio construction is a dynamic process that involves learning. After you spend hours reading descriptions of domains for sale, you should no doubt end up with a better understanding of what goes into coming up with a good domain name idea. You may be surprised that others are coming up with ideas and searching in categories that you never would have thought to consider originally. In order to make sure that you learn and adapt based on what you observe, take some time to jot down notes during and after your first buying experience. Comment on what went well, what went wrong, and what might be improved in the next round of buying. Additionally, consider how you should change your portfolio objectives based on your first search. For instance, should you change the original categories that you selected? Or should you focus more on country code domains? Or is there some entirely different dimension that you hadn't considered promising originally, but now looks good? All of that's important to observe, internalize, and use for future purchases.